Hi, my name is Sylvie. I am a certified health coach and I help women feel great and lose weight through fasting and whole food nutrition. In today's video, I am going to share my perimenopause weight loss success story using intermittent fasting as a tool. First, I'm going to quickly go over why it is so hard to lose weight during perimenopause and menopause. And then I'm going to take you through the 4 simple steps that I used to achieve my weight loss goals. Okay, so why is it so hard to lose weight during perimenopause? Well, a few factors come into play. Number 1, there are hormonal changes that you go through during perimenopause. I think this is pretty obvious to most of you. The main hormone that is at play in this case is estrogen. And during perimenopause and menopause, estrogen tends to fluctuate, and low levels of estrogen as well as high levels of estrogen will cause weight gain. Also, there is the loss of muscle mass. It is typical as we age to lose muscle mass. Most of us are not as active, and it's just also a normal consequence of the aging process. And you are probably aware of the fact that muscles burn more fat than fat. So it is very important to keep up your muscle mass to help you lose weight and also to stay healthy and strong. I strongly recommend that you keep up with the strength training. Another thing that comes into play is insulin resistance. Again, as we age, we tend to become less insulin sensitive, and that will cause you to crave food. It will cause you to make the wrong food choices and just to store more fat, also mostly in your abdominal region. And by the way, intermittent fasting is a great tool to improve your insulin sensitivity. Another factor that I want to mention is poor sleep. Many perimenopausal and menopausal women experience sleep disruptions, and poor sleep often causes us to crave carbs and want to eat more than we need to. So that's another factor that may cause perimenopausal women to struggle with weight gain. Now let me share a little bit about my perimenopause weight loss success story. First of all, I had been struggling to lose weight for quite some time, probably 5 years or so, but it got worse when I turned 40. I think that's an age where a lot of women will notice that, because that is truly when your hormonal function starts to change. So not only I started noticing that weight loss was difficult, but on top of that, I started gaining weight, eating the same way I had always been eating. It would take maybe a month of feeling hungry all the time to lose 3 pounds. And then when I started eating a little more so that I did not feel hungry all the time, I would gain all the weight back. So it was extremely frustrating. So let me share with you the 4 steps that helped me overcome that and achieve my goal weight, my weight that I was at even before having 7 children. So that's pretty amazing. And it's not just the weight loss, it's also the way I've been feeling. And I am so excited about this process, and that's why I want to share this with you. I know you can benefit too. And so let's get started. Okay, the number 1 thing that I did that made a big difference is a modified fast. I talk about modified fasting in quite a few of my videos. A modified fast is a prolonged fast, but you get to eat food. So it's not just a water fast, and that is a great benefit because many of us are not able to do a water fast. We don't have enough experience with fasting. We have too much toxicity in our body. There's many reasons that you may not be able to go through a water fast. So a modified fast is a great option. The concept comes from Dr. Walter Longo, who created the fasting mimicking diet. And so that's what I base my meal plans on. And I have 2 types of meal plans that I like to recommend. One of them is a 5-day meal plan. and one of them is a 10-day meal plan. So I would recommend the 5-day plan for those who struggle with sticking with anything long term. Like that was me. Sticking with something to the letter for 10 days is not something that I could do. And 4 or 5 days was a lot more achievable for me, and that is the approach I chose. But for those who have a better long-term self-control, and also who tend to not do well with hunger, who tend to struggle when they feel hungry, it affects their mood and it affects their lives to a point where they can't function really well, the 10-day meal plan might be a better option, because most people who use it don't feel hungry. So that is a benefit of that meal plan. But both modified fasts severely restrict calories, so you'll be consuming only 40 to 50% your regular calorie intake. They both are completely vegan, low protein diets have been shown to increase autophagy, and autophagy is a process by which your body heals itself. They are also about 45% healthy fats, so that'll help keep you satisfied, and 45% healthy carbs, give your body the nutrition it needs during the healing process. Okay, so that was step number 1. Step number 2 is experimenting with intermittent fasting. And so you will be doing, most likely, you will be doing more than one modified fast. If you do the 5-day fast, I recommend you do it once a month for about 3 months. If you do the 10-day fast, you could do it every 2 months, maybe 2 or 3 times again. And in between the modified fast, now it's time to experiment with intermittent fasting. Many people who start with intermittent fasting are under the impression, and that was me, that intermittent fasting is just about skipping breakfast. And then so they may start with intermittent fasting, they skip breakfast for a while, and they don't get the results they want, so they give up. But intermittent fasting is a lot more than that. There's so many approaches, and so I am sure you can find the right one that will help you find the results that you're looking for. In fact, I created a whole video on this topic, and I will link it here. But just to give you a few pointers, I started experimenting with the Eat Stop Eat method, which is 2 24-hour fasts during the week. Another option that I also did when I was still experimenting is the 5-2 method. The 5-2 method is similar, but instead of going completely without food during 24 hours, you're allowed to eat 500 calories these 2 days. These 2 methods were great for me, and I think they would work really well for most beginners. It's a good way to get started. And then you can also experiment with daily intermittent fasting and just increase your fasting window and see how you feel, see how your body reacts. My favorite approach, and I've mentioned it already quite a few times, is the warrior diet. The warrior diet is a fasting window of 20 hours each day. Now, step number 3 will be to settle on a method. And when I talk about settling on a method, so obviously you'll have been experimenting, you'll start noticing what works better for you, what helps you feel better, and what gives you more results. But settling on a method means just adopting it as a lifestyle. I don't want you to go on this journey thinking that once you've reached your weight loss goal, you'll just go back to 3 square meals a day and snacks and all of it. Intermittent fasting should be a lifestyle, and it's not just for weight loss, it's for health and longevity. That's why I like to encourage women to have the mindset that the approach that they're going to be picking has to be sustainable long-term and has to be something that they enjoy, that makes them feel great and not deprived. And then step number 4 is always listening to your body. That ties in nicely with step number 3, because of course I want this to be a lifestyle. It's important. But at the same time, you also need to give yourself some leeway and listen to your body. There'll be times where you'll be more hungry and you won't be able to fast as long, or you won't be able to practice your chosen intermittent fasting method, and you need to give yourself this freedom. You'll find that some days you'll feel great and you'll be able to fast longer. Well, that's fine too. So just learn to pay attention to the different signals your body is sending you, the different types of hunger that you may be experiencing, and also the different ways your body will be reacting to fasting and the different methods you'll be using. So that's it. In summary, my perimenopause success story is nothing out of the ordinary, and I'm sure, I am convinced it's something that any of you can achieve. If you need more guidance throughout the process, I recommend you check out my free quiz, What is Your Fasting Personality? I'll put a link in the description, and that'll get you started. You'll receive 3 quick start fasting guides, and I think you'll find those very helpful. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.